Good afternoon. My name is Kwabena. When we started our businesses, little did we know about what they call sales, especially in the industry that we started in, construction, or engineering projects. And having come from a background as with some kind of understanding in engineering and no professional background in sales or professional career as to how to start something, to promote it, to get it to people, I had to learn how to sell my ideas, how to sell whatever services that we were rendering or we are giving out to people from the scratch. There was not much formal training to it. Yet, if you look at business, the main drive of it is you being able to get your product, your services to the people that need your product the most. And that will call for an understanding of sales. That will call for an understanding of how this customer that you want to sell to understands your product. And if they don't understand it, you have to let them understand it. And how many of them that you are able to get your product and your services to. So I had to learn that if you look at the construction industry, for instance, there are about 4 main areas in our country that you can get people to, you can get your clients or to make your sales. Many of these contractors are getting their jobs from the government. So the government becomes a major client for most people, and that goes through a lot of procurement processes and all kind of activities that people have to go through to get projects. I think the second one is where you are dealing with most of these multinationals that give projects out, and you either go there as the main contractor or as a subcontractor. And the other ones are the Ghanaian companies, the middle Ghanaian companies that are able to give projects to contractors. And then there's a bunch or a lot of client base which are individual Ghanaians who are trying to build their houses. Now, each of these that I have identified as a client for construction companies, each of them have their positive side, and each of them have their negative side. So, for instance, if you are working with the government, it takes a long time to get your project, and you would have to go through a lot of things that you would not want to go through to get the project. If you're working with most of these multinationals too, you have to get to know them. Where are they? Who is giving them the work, and who is paying them, and how would they treat you as a local contractor? If you get to the Ghanaian companies, I will say that they and the Ghanaian individuals, there's not much difference. They treat you just as they are treating their private works, and if they don't have the money to pay you, your job is screwed. So understanding how you get your projects is part of what they call sales. How do you get to these people is so critical. And how many of them can you get to get you to at least even give a quote for a project? And so your understanding of sales as engineers, as entrepreneurs, is so critical. And yet most engineers are not salespeople. Selling is not part of the courses that they gave us. So you would have to build those right from the scratch, and selling is a skill, selling is a craft, selling goes with knowledge. How are you able to identify your client base? Which work are you looking for? Are you able to get more? And if you don't have the sales going, If you don't have the sales going, it means that the business is not going to get revenue. business is not getting revenue, it means the business is not growing, the business is going down. And so sales in each category of companies or business, they are different. So project-based companies, the approach to sales is different from, say, how an insurance company get their sales or develop their sales strategy. If I have shops and I'm into retailing, my approach to selling is largely different from the other guy who is in a bank and who is selling his product. So you have to understand the industry you are in before you can understand the sales. But whatever it is, you should know that without the sales, your product has no future. Your business has no future. If you are into manufacturing, for instance, if you're producing whatever you're producing, somebody should be able to get the product to the market. And the more they're able to get the product to the market, the more you are able to get revenue for your business. So sales is everything. And yet sales is not that which practically known to a lot of us. A lot of people are into provision shops or cubicle shops or the shops that you just go in to buy. They don't have any, many of them don't even know that itself is a discipline that they have to know. The selling, the customer service. How do you get your customers to keep coming every day? You know, it's a process. So sales, for instance, is designed to retain or to attract, to retain a long-term relationship with a client, you know. And if you sell one product to a customer and after selling that, you are looking up to the customer giving you another offer or getting you introduced to other companies. How do you understand this? Our selling is also linked to the type of customers that you deal with in your industry. You know, so the quality sales service that you render, especially in the industry you are in, will keep the business growing. So I mean, there are benefits of sales. For instance, in the retail, you know, people want to come to your shop and they want the experience to be enjoyable, and they don't want to pay so much just because you are selling it. You know, you should be able to get into the mind of your people. If you're selling in Ghana, for instance, and your customers come and they're speaking Chi, for instance, why should your sales people be replying them in English? You should make your services so comfortable that the customer keeps coming back to you. They should not feel like they have to beg you for service. If your customer is begging you for service, you are not good at selling. You know, so and most people don't know that. For instance, if you go to Makola, for instance, you know, most of the market women, you go there, they are sitting there, they are looking at you. You have to beg them to buy. You know, and so it's because most people think that sales is just selling. They don't know that you need a lot of information to give a very quality sales services, so to say. You know, for instance, if your client is complaining on your prices, are you trained, or is your team trained to be able to handle those objections? You know, how do you explain that to your client? You have to find that. And how do you know which item are your people able to buy? Those are all signs, and those all need data. What is your conversion rate? How much are you able to sell to your client in a particular time, in a particular day? What kind of statistics do you have on the people who come to buy? All this will influence your sales. So it depends on the industry that you are in. But you just have to understand that sales is everything that you have to do to get your business going. And the approach, you have to sit down and craft it to get your sales going. So I'll be discussing different kinds of sales in the industry, and the professionalism that you can bring to your services, the customer service, the sales, your team. How do you train your sales team? How do you get them on board? How do you handle your clients so that they know that at least you're trying, you're giving a better service than the other one? So sales is everything. How professionally you handle it, how you're able to manage that. If you had a technical training like me, it's likely that you don't know sales, so you have to learn it, and its importance. And so that's what I have to say on sales. I will be sharing some bit of what I know about selling in our country, especially in the retail market and in the construction.